Hello, welcome, and thank you for volunteering your time with the Chapter 1 online reading volunteer programme. This training will cover the following: an introduction to Chapter 1's programme, its purpose and aims, when to expect your pupil assignment, how to schedule a session in the Chapter 1 platform, information about our practice feature and knowledge base, how to start a session, get support, and send messages to teachers. We will also share important information about child safeguarding. In the second training you've booked, Building Confident Readers, we will cover how children are taught to read in most English and Scottish schools, including your role in supporting children to read simple early reading texts, how to engage struggling or reluctant readers, and how to manage your reading session. We will also provide important information about the Chapter 1 stories and reading activities. If you're a returning reading volunteer, then please enjoy this training as a refresher, particularly the section on safeguarding. Please don't worry about taking notes during this training. You will be able to review this video in our knowledge base at your convenience. Let's begin by understanding a little about Chapter 1's purpose and mission. We know that reading has the power to transform children's futures, yet far too many children face disadvantage and struggle with reading, which stops them from thriving in life. We therefore support primary school children facing disadvantage in the UK who have low levels of reading confidence and enjoyment. Our vision is a world where all children have the literacy skills needed to thrive. Our mission is to close the reading gap by providing children with one-to-one support at the time they need it most. When you join us as a reading volunteer, you will be matched with a child from Year 1, Year 2 or Year 3, or Years P2 to 5 in Scotland, which means they will be aged between 5 and 8. These first few years of primary school are all important when it comes to reading. By the time children enter Year 1 or P2, they're expected to have mastered simple sounds and the reading of short words. Year 1 is known as the reading year, where children build on these foundational reading skills and start to read to learn rather than just learn to read. If a child leaves their early school years without strong reading skills, that child can be left behind before their education truly begins. This is why Chapter 1 focuses on children aged 5 to 8 that need additional one-to-one support. Walk into a classroom of children of this age and you'll find a room full of kids who love to learn and are full of energy and enthusiasm. When you support their efforts by reading with them each week, nurturing their enjoyment of stories and helping them to understand how reading can benefit them in the future, there really is no limit to what they can achieve. As a reading volunteer, you can broaden horizons, challenge stereotypes, and ignite curious minds. Every single day in a child's life has the potential to change who they are forever. Pupils come to school from many different circumstances and with many different learning abilities. Some children may face more disadvantage than others, and books and reading might not be a part of their home lives. Or they may be learning in English for the first time. The research on the reading gap between children from different socioeconomic backgrounds is extensive. We know that pupils from low-income backgrounds have often been exposed to almost 32 million fewer words than their peers by the time they start school. 1 in 5 English children don't own a single book. That translates into a large learning gap in both oral language development and word vocabulary. We also know from Department of Education data that 38% of 11-year-olds in England from disadvantaged backgrounds, compared to 20% from non-disadvantaged backgrounds, left primary school unable to read to the expected standard, and that 69% of children who are not reading to the expected standard at the age of 7 don't reach the required standard by 11 either. Developing children's ability to read requires that they learn phonics and the fundamental strategies of reading, skills taught in every classroom. But learning reading strategies isn't enough on its own. Children need one-to-one, consistent and sustained support from someone like you, who can build a trusting relationship, encourage their progress, and gently guide them to learn successful reading habits. The evidence is clear that children truly benefit from having multiple reading influencers or reading role models in their lives. With our support, your role is therefore to build a sustained one-to-one relationship with your young reader. We hope you can make good use of our technology to provide inclusive and engaging reading sessions and create a positive environment, a safe space, so your young reader feels encouraged, has choice, and feels that they can have a go. It's so special that with you they're able to practice reading aloud, to talk to somebody about what they're reading, and to take pleasure in stories and books. In fact, reading for pleasure is more strongly correlated with academic success than parental background. So, as you coach your pupil each week, remember that you are complementing the work of the classroom teachers and helping your pupil in these vital ways: to become a better reader through improved phonics, improved vocabulary, improved reading fluency, and improved reading comprehension; to develop more positive reading attitudes and behaviours, including increased confidence and reading enjoyment; to become more confident at communicating; and last but very much not least, you're inspiring a love and a joy for reading. Teachers really appreciate the one-to-one support and consistent, regular practice you provide their students each week. As part of the Chapter 1 team, you are a precious asset in the classroom and also act as a positive role model. Taking on the role of a reading volunteer is fun and rewarding, but it can be challenging at times, and it is a commitment for the entire academic year. We know that consistent weekly sessions will help children develop as readers, so please make every effort to call your child each week. They will be relying on you. During the first few weeks, when the online reading program is just getting established in the classroom, calls may go unanswered. Please do not get discouraged. Your consistent weekly calls are helping to establish the program as part of the regular classroom routine. This helps children understand what comes next as they learn classroom norms and expectations. The first few weeks of reading is also a great time to start building a rapport with your student. Conversation is especially important in the first few sessions as you get to know each other, especially as you may both feel a little nervous. So feel free to ask your student about their favourite book, their favourite film or food, or how their day is going. This will help to build your relationship. Please keep in mind that initially your pupil may struggle from a lack of confidence, and you may encounter students who are very shy or hesitant to read out loud. Some may present themselves as disinterested, others may be easily distracted, and some may even tell you they don't want to read. Please stick with them, call consistently, and provide lots of encouragement and praise. We're often asked by our volunteers if they need any special equipment for Chapter 1 sessions. The answer is no. All you need is a computer with an internet connection and a phone, as you'll be speaking to your pupil via audio and you will not be using video or seeing them during the session. Please also ensure that you add emails from the chapter1.org domain to your Safe Senders email list, particularly uksupport@chapter1.org. We will be keeping in touch with you by email, so ask you to be sure that company firewalls aren't blocking vital information we send you. We're also aware that many of you work remotely or in hybrid roles, and you'll therefore often use a VPN connection on a company-issued laptop to connect to the internet. Experience shows that connecting via VPN can often impact the quality of your Chapter 1 sessions, especially the audio. So where possible, please connect to the internet outside your company VPN or use a personal device for your sessions. Please also note that the Chapter 1 program works best in Google Chrome. Other internet browsers are not as well supported and might lead to glitches in your sessions. The most frequently asked question is, when do I get my pupil assignment? The criteria that must be met before pupils in a class can be assigned to a reading volunteer are as follows. All the reading volunteers assigned to the class have completed their DBS checks and online training. Teachers have set up the shared timetable on the Chapter 1 platform. Dedicated laptops have been set up in Chapter 1 classrooms. Teachers have assessed children's reading levels, selected pupils for reading volunteering, and we've gained consent from their parents. Please note that teachers will take some time at the beginning of the year to complete all of these steps. As soon as you're assigned a pupil, you can sign up for your weekly session and start calling your pupil. Now, let's talk about what you need to do once you've been assigned a pupil. You will receive an email from us with details of your pupil name and the date from which you can book a session on the class timetable. You're now ready to sign up for your weekly reading session using the scheduling calendar. The scheduling calendar is a virtual replica of the class timetable shared by you and your pupil's teacher and is where you book your weekly reading sessions. To schedule a session, go to app.chapter1.org and sign in using the same username and password you used when you registered with Chapter 1. Before your pupil's class starts the Chapter 1 reading programme, the teacher will block out times on the calendar that are not approved for reading sessions, including days on which school is closed. These will appear on the calendar in black or yellow. You're welcome to sign up during any time that is not blocked out by the teacher or already taken by another volunteer. Now let's take a look at how to schedule a weekly session. As we've just mentioned, the teacher will black out times on the calendar that are not available for reading sessions. These times indicated in black are moments like lunchtime or break when students are either out of the classroom or occupied by another activity. You cannot book a session during a blackout time or for a time that overlaps with it. The calendar is a Monday to Friday calendar and is date specific. Review the calendar for a day and time that is available for both you and your pupil. Available times are in white. Click in the cell to open the scheduling window. Verify the date and time selected. Make sure you check both the beginning and ending time of your session. If you would like to adjust your session's start or end time, you can do so here. Decide whether you'd like your session to repeat weekly, notice this is the default option, or if you would like to book the time for this week only. The repeating session functionality is useful if you plan to read with your pupil at the same time each week and want to secure this time into the future. If possible, we do encourage you to choose and stick to the same day and time each week and complete at least 25 sessions during the year. This builds consistency and routine for both you and your pupil and ensures that pupils don't feel let down. You can always move a specific session in a given week if needed. Click Save when done. After you click Save, the box will turn purple. You will see the session time, your pupil's name, and your name in the purple box. If you're reading with more than one student in the classroom, you will need to schedule a separate session for each student. To schedule the session, click on the Selected Student drop-down. Select the student you wish to schedule with, and then add your entry to the schedule. You will notice the selected student name and your name will appear in the session. If you need to adjust the time of your session, click on the entry and make the necessary change by clicking on the time indicators. Click Update Event to save your entry. If you have a scheduling conflict during a particular week and would like to schedule an alternative time for that week only, click on the day and time you would like to schedule your alternate session and click Save. Notice you now have 2 entries on the calendar. To free up time should another volunteer need to reschedule their session, please be sure to delete your original event only for that week. Sessions can be viewed by week as a weekly list or by month. You can also toggle from week to week and month to month. Because you share this schedule with your teacher, he or she can also make changes to the calendar. You'll notice that some days of the school year are blocked out in yellow. These are days that the school is closed for half terms, holidays, and other events. If you've booked a repeating session, this will still show under the yellow block, but you should not ring for your session that day. If the school closed day is added after you've booked your sessions in, you will receive an email notifying you that your student won't be available for the session. Please note that for periodic timetable changes, some teachers might choose to send you a message via the platform rather than block out times on the calendar. Let's take a quick run through of the calendar features you may find helpful throughout the year. You're welcome to sign up during any time that is not blocked out in black by the teacher. If you find calling the classroom 5 minutes after the scheduled start time results in more frequent calls being answered, You can manually adjust the time on the calendar. We advise you to book a repeating session for consistency and routine. Just move it if you have a conflict. You can also toggle from week to week or month to month. We provide a link to quick view instructions for how to use the calendar. As you'll remember from when you registered with us, our expectation is that you'll call your assigned pupil every week for a 30-minute session for the duration of the academic year. However, for some pupils, 30 minutes may be too long to keep their attention, particularly at the start of the academic year. Therefore, feel free to reduce the length of your reading sessions to suit your particular pupil. We aim for our volunteers to complete at least 25 sessions during the year. Children will be looking forward to your weekly calls. You're not expected to read during school holidays or any time that you yourself are on holiday during term time. We do, of course, understand that you may take personal holiday and just ask that you inform your child if you're going to be away and use the messaging part of the platform to let the class teacher know too. We'll tell you more about how that works a little later. You're welcome to double up sessions when you come back from leave if you can, as long as the timetable has space. In order to be sure that all children in our programme benefit from as much reading support as possible, we do monitor call frequency and consistency. We're keen to resolve any issues that you might be having in connecting with your pupil, and we'll reach out to you if it seems like your sessions are not taking place. Do please watch for emails from us and respond promptly. Prior to your first session, you will find it helpful to spend time familiarising yourself with the activities in the Chapter 1 platform. Many volunteers have told us that they feel nervous prior to their first reading session. Your student may be a little nervous too. To help get over those first session jitters, we suggest you take some time to practice. To practice how to navigate the story library and word activities, click on the Practice Reading Volunteering link found in the menu. Select any reading level to begin and click Continue. Select an activity from the menu. When you select an activity, a small window will open and you will see an exact representation of what the student will see on their screen during a session. You can close this window by clicking on the X. To close out of the practice session and return to the Chapter 1 homepage, click the End button in the upper right corner. The practice session looks very similar to a live session. When you're in a practice session, you will see the word practice next to the clock in the upper right corner. Throughout the year, you will have access to a range of training materials and resources in our knowledge base. The base includes a comprehensive FAQ feature to help you find answers to questions quickly, video segments on all topics reviewed during training, how-to PDFs, and articles on best practices for reading with young children. To get answers to your questions quickly, we encourage you to visit the base throughout the year. We will also be holding expert view training sessions throughout the year on a variety of topics, and one of our team will be running live monthly drop-in sessions, so there are lots of ways to get help if you need it. When you're ready to read with your pupil for your weekly session, go to app.chapter1.org and sign into the application. The first screen you'll see is the Reading Volunteer home screen. This is where you will start your session. From the home screen, you can view your pupil's name and the day and time of your session. If you have 2 children assigned to you, you can select the correct student for the session by clicking on the Select Student drop-down list. To begin, click on Start Classroom Session. This will prompt the system to locate the classroom computer and generate a phone number. Remember that our platform uses a voice audio connection for you to talk to your child. There is no video. If you attempt to start a session earlier than your assigned time, you will get a prompt that reminds you the session has not yet started. You may begin your session early if there is not another session already in progress. Before starting a session early, please check the calendar. The system only allows for 1 volunteer to be connected to the classroom computer at a time. If there is a session in progress, a pop-up message will ask you to try again in 3 minutes. Click Yes if you would like to start your session early. As the system generates the phone number, notice the information on the right side of the screen. This information includes the school name, the teacher name, also known as the classroom, your pupil's gender, and your pupil's reading level. This information is always available during a session by clicking on the Child Info link at the top of each screen. Once the classroom computer is identified, you will see on screen a phone number generated for you to call for your session using a landline or mobile phone. please do not save this number. A new number will be generated for your next session. If the phone number does not appear, there may be an issue with the classroom computer, and you should contact chat support for assistance. Our chat support agents are real people who can solve most issues quickly. As you wait for the system to provide you with a phone number, you always have the option to either contact chat support or restart the session. Once the number is available, use your mobile, office or landline phone and call the phone number you see on the screen. Please note that our Chapter 1 platform does not call the class laptop directly. You need to use a different device and dial the phone number provided to establish the audio connection. The call will be answered by the designated classroom phone greeter, who is usually a different pupil to the one you will read with. The greeter plays an important classroom role in ensuring the correct child is on the call, and they will speak to you through a headset. Remember, there's no video. Give the greeter the name of your student. The greeter should then locate the pupil, who will then sit down at the laptop and put on a headset. If your pupil is present, click Pupil Available, click to launch activities. If your pupil is not available, click Phone Answered but Student Unavailable. This will automatically generate a report to let us know your student was not present for the session. You will also get a prompt to reschedule your session. If you try to call the class but the phone is not answered, we recommend you either contact chat support or click here to restart. Please give it a few minutes before you try again. The class might be late returning from another activity. Classroom Live can be noisy and busy, and unexpected things can crop up. After you click Pupil Available, click to launch activities, the platform will display the pupil's activity level and story level. You may move these levels up or down as needed at any time throughout your session by clicking on the pencil icon in the yellow box in the purple banner. Activity and story levels are explained in more detail in the Building Confident Readers training. Click the Go to Flashcards button to proceed. Flashcards are a great way to get your pupils' reading session started. We will be covering all the details about Chapter 1 activities, how to use them, and effective ways of structuring your reading session in the second training you've booked, Building Confident Readers. The Chapter 1 platform has a built-in message tool that makes it easy to send and receive messages to and from your teacher. Every time you visit the Reading Volunteer homepage, any new messages you have will be immediately visible. You can access the message feature from the message link on the left menu anytime you would like to read or send a message. When you click on messages, you will see clickable links for your message inbox, any unread messages, and your sent messages. To send a message to your teacher, click on the orange New Message button on the right of the page. Please note, if you have a safeguarding concern, you should use a rapid reporting form to notify the Chapter 1 team rather than send a message to the teacher. We will talk in more detail about our safeguarding process at the end of this training. Complete the fields of the message, and when you're done, click Send Message. When you have a new message from the class teacher, you will be notified by email that there is a message waiting, and you'll see that message when you log into the platform. After you've read the message, click on the Mark as Read button to prevent the message appearing each time you log into the platform. We ask teachers to send you a courtesy attendance message on the day of your reading volunteering session to indicate whether your pupil is absent or not. Most teachers do manage this, but if you do not receive a present or absent message, then a good rule of thumb is to call the classroom anyway. If you're taking holiday during term time and so will miss sessions, then do please message the teacher to let them know. Do consider, if you can, doing an extra session to make up for the time you missed, as we aim for each child to receive 25 sessions during the year. Please note that we encourage teachers to communicate with their reading volunteers as often as possible, but some teachers may not have the time to routinely send or reply to your messages. Please note that you're not able to message our Chapter 1 team using platform messaging. Please instead use live chat for issues that require immediate assistance, or email the team by contacting your dedicated member of the volunteer support team or our central inbox at uksupport@chapter1.org. If you've contacted your teacher and haven't received a reply within 3 to 4 days, and your message requires a response or a follow-up action, please email uksupport@chapter1.org and we will follow up on your behalf. While we do everything possible to ensure you have a successful session with your student, there are times when something does not run smoothly. First, if something doesn't seem quite right, it's good for you to understand what the child you're reading with ought to be seeing on their screen. As you'll remember from the practice feature, the child view of our platform is a little different from the adult one. To view a representation of the child screen at any time, click on the View icon at the top of the screen and a window will appear that shows you what the child ought to see on their screen. This will help you direct them if they're unsure of what to do or if it is unclear that they are viewing what you sent. We're really focused on making sure you and the children using Chapter 1 have as smooth an experience as possible, so there are a number of ways you can access support if you need help during an active session. Anytime you encounter a problem that affects the quality of your session, please reach out to us via live chat or telephone immediately. There are a few generic issues that you might encounter that can be fixed quickly by the live chat team. For example, an audio level that is too low, a window that may be blocking the reading content, or confirmation that the student can view the activity that you sent. It's important that any technical issues you encounter are addressed quickly so we can get your session back on track. Please don't wait until the session is over to let us know you had a problem, and please do not ask your pupil's teacher for help, as they will be teaching at the same time and so will not be available. Our live chat support agents are based here in the UK and are standing by to help you. They have direct remote access to the computer used for reading sessions in the classroom and can resolve most issues within a few seconds. There are 3 options available should you need help when reading volunteering with your student: live chat, fast chat, and phone support. To reach a support agent using live chat, click on the orange bar located in the bottom right corner of the screen. The support agent will acknowledge your presence in the chat room and you can begin the chat. Most volunteers have access to live chat. However, if your organisation does not allow live chat, we do have other options available. To view other support options, click on the Help link at the top of the page. Please remember to have the school and teacher name available when using a support option other than live chat. Let's take a moment to review the other options available. If your organisation allows fast chat, go to www.gotoassist.com/SB/chapter1. That link will always be available in the Help section on the top right navigation bar. Once you're logged in, follow the prompts to connect with a chat support agent. You're welcome to call us on the phone if you can't reach us on chat. However, response time may be slower. For phone support, dial 033333 55817, option 1. In addition to our live chat agent team, you also have an opportunity to report a problem that was disruptive to your session. To report a disruption, click the Disrupted link at the top of the page and select the problem from the drop-down menu. While this does not replace contacting a live chat agent, it does give us valuable information about your session. This information is reviewed daily and will be used to make sure your next session is not disrupted. To review, always contact the live chat support agent for immediate support during your session. Please do not involve the teacher. Help us track technical or classroom issues by clicking the Disrupted button and recording your issue. While our live chat team can resolve most technical issues quickly, they do not have direct access to the classroom teacher. If at any time you experience problems during your session that can't be resolved by our live chat agents, or you experience frequent no answers, please let us know at the end of the session by providing us with feedback. It's quick and easy to give us feedback. After each session, a pop-up box will appear. Please complete it. As well as questions about your experience of the session and any technical issues you might have encountered, there are 2 comment boxes available. The first box is for comments you would like to share with us. We review these comments to help us understand what you experienced during a reading session. Alongside this, you will also have direct access to our volunteer support team. As mentioned previously, your dedicated contact from the support team will email you as soon as you're assigned a pupil. Please take a moment to read and familiarise yourself with their details when you receive this message so you know who to contact if you need support later on. If you're ever unsure, you can also reach us via our central inbox at uksupport@chapter1.org. Our volunteer support team is able to investigate issues such as a classroom phone that frequently goes unanswered or absent children. They can also answer questions you may have about your pupil assignment and any other general queries about the platform and the programme. They're also the team that monitors session consistency, so they may check in with you if they notice your sessions have not been occurring regularly. The second box is for comments you would like to share with your pupil's teacher. If you have a question for your teacher and you do not get a response, please email your dedicated contact within the volunteer support team. Click the End Session button at the bottom of the feedback form to submit your feedback. You will be redirected to the homepage and can log out of the application. While feedback after every session may seem unnecessary, it does provide us with helpful information that might impact your next session as well as the sessions of your fellow teammates. We've tried to make it quick and easy, and we appreciate your entries. You'll remember that when you signed up to be a reading volunteer, you were asked to read and agree to Chapter 1's Child Safeguarding Policy and sign up to a Code of Conduct. Like all organisations working with young children, we take safeguarding very seriously, and as such we believe that this is everyone's responsibility. We're just going to go over the key features of our safeguarding approach to be sure that you are clear what your responsibilities are as a volunteer and what behaviour we expect from Chapter 1 reading volunteers. For more details, please do read our policy and other safeguarding resources, such as Keeping Children Safe in Education, that we have in our knowledge base. First, what is safeguarding? Safeguarding is a term that relates to the action taken to promote the welfare of children and protect them from harm. This includes anything that might signal a child has been or is being harmed, or that their well-being or welfare could be at risk. The Chapter 1 team is committed to safeguarding and promoting the well-being and welfare of all children. We require all individuals who are involved or associated with us to share this commitment. Safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. During your reading volunteering session, your pupil may share something with you that you might find concerning. In the 2024-25 school year, we had over 80 reporting forms completed by volunteers where a child shared something with their reading volunteer which gave them cause for concern. If this happens to you, we want to make sure you feel prepared and attuned to the signs that something might be wrong and that you feel confident in what you should do. Above all, please remember the golden rule. If in doubt, report. Please let us know of anything at all that strikes you as worrying as you read with your child, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. No one person can have a full understanding of what is happening in a child's life. Sometimes a child says something that just feels not quite right to one person, but when reviewed together with other concerns or bits of the jigsaw, could be a sign of abuse. If you have a concern, no matter how small, please contact our safeguarding team as soon as possible by completing a rapid reporting form and emailing it to safeguarding@chapter1.org. The rapid reporting form can be found in the knowledge base. We understand that you might feel upset in the event that a child discloses something that leads you to suspect abuse or maltreatment, and we can offer additional support to you if you feel you need it. Please do remember that your reaction can have an impact on the child you're talking to, so try and do the following. Focus on what the child is saying. Try to avoid thinking about what to do next as they are speaking. Try to make a note of the child's exact words. Don't underestimate the courage that they've shown in talking to you. They have chosen you as someone that they trust. Try to react in a calm and reassuring manner, controlling any shock or making any judgments, and let them know that they were right to tell you. I understand it might be difficult to talk about this. You're brave. Show concern and empathy. I'm so sorry that this has happened, and I will let the right people know. Let the child control the conversation. Be welcoming and allow the child to speak openly. Do not ask any leading or probing questions to learn more about the details of an incident or if it occurs often. This is the job of the designated school safeguarding officer. Be clear that nothing can be kept confidential. Emphasize that while you won't tell everyone, you will let the right people, those who can help, know. Continue with the Chapter 1 session if that's possible or relevant. As soon as the session has ended, report your concern immediately to safeguarding@chapter1.org using the rapid reporting form on our knowledge base and which was included in the Code of Conduct. We're going to take a moment to ask you to consider a real scenario that occurred for a Chapter 1 volunteer last year. Ava, the child, and Ruth, our volunteer, were reading a story about a big bath which was overflowing with bubbles. At one point in the story, the bubbles spilled onto the floor and made a big mess. Ava told Ruth that this reminded her of a time at home when she was in charge of bathing her baby brother, and they made a big mess. She got worried that her dad was going to slap her, and so she tidied it up quickly. This didn't feel quite right to Ruth. She did not ask Ava for more information. After her session, she made a note of Ava's words. What questions might this incident spark? Was Ava, who is only 6, left to bathe her baby brother alone? Does her father harm her physically? Could this be an indication of neglect and/or abuse? Should I tell someone about this? What would you do? What did Ruth do? The incident weighed on Ruth's mind. She thought about it for a few days and asked the advice of a friend who was a former teacher, who was unsure of what to suggest. After a couple of weeks, it was still bothering Ruth, and so she told the Chapter 1 team and shared her notes. Chapter 1's designated safeguarding lead immediately reported this to Ava's school, as per our policy. The school was pleased to have the information, but concerned that they'd been informed after so much time had elapsed. They reiterated that they would like to know about an incident like this as soon as possible after it occurred. Let's review the way Ruth handled this. She did the right thing by taking notes. She did the right thing by not asking Ava probing questions or making judgments. She ought to have reported this to Chapter 1 immediately. Remember, if in doubt, report it. In any child safeguarding situation, Chapter 1 will address your concerns with the appropriate authorities and will involve you only if necessary. Please do not try to investigate the issue yourself. The best course of action is to gently guide your pupil back to the reading volunteering session, and once the session has ended, report your concerns as we've described. Please note too that all reading calls are recorded by our platform so we can refer back to conversations if needed. As well as regular updates on safeguarding in our volunteer newsletters, we also run expert view drop-in sessions on safeguarding during the year, so if you have any questions, do pop along. You'll be sent an email with the details. It's important to remember that you are in a position of responsibility as a reading volunteer and that your pupils may regard you as a role model. To protect yourself against any unfounded allegations of inappropriate behaviour, remember the following. You are in a position of responsibility and so should use language carefully and appropriately for this age group. Do not share personal information with pupils, for example, a phone number and email address, social media details. While it is fine to ask children questions about their likes and dislikes, do they have a pet, any siblings, what's their favourite animal, do not ask children for their personal information, for example, where they live or their surname. Do not use video during any session or share website links. Do not arrange to meet a child anywhere. Do not offer to send children gifts or money or make promises to them that cannot be fulfilled. Do not interact with children under the influence of alcohol or drugs. If you meet your pupil at an online or in-person meet and greet or reading celebration, please do not take any photos of them. Teachers might take photos at these events and share these with us if children have photo consent. All reading calls are recorded. Thank you so much for your support to keep children participating in Chapter 1 safe. We hope you found this training helpful. The next training, Building Confident Readers, will focus on how to make the most out of the reading sessions with your pupil, including how to use activities and the basics of early reading, including an introduction to phonics.